Batman Gotham's Night, Volume 3, Number 16, The Rack Saga. 1. Gods, Monsters, and Mortals, Part 3. Earth 1. Batman moved through Gotham streets without making a sound. The city was getting colder. December had turned Gotham into a place of gray skies, frozen streets, and Christmas lights that seemed almost insulting against the darkness. Christmas Eve was getting closer. Leslie Tompkins was still lying in a hospital bed. Black Mask was still somewhere in Gotham. KG Beast was still out there. Lady Shiva had made it clear that the League of Assassins was watching him. Deadshot was still killing people, and the Holiday Killer was still following a calendar only they understood. Batman tightened his grip around the edge of a rooftop, too many fires burning at once. He looked toward Gotham Merchants Bank in the distance. That was where Antonio Diego had said Black Mask would most likely be. But Batman couldn't go there yet. Not without following every lead, one case at a time. His cryptographic sequencer crackled quietly in his hand. Police communications. He listened. Then he heard something that made him stop. "Captain, we have another body." Batman looked toward the direction of the transmission. "Where?" The officer gave the location. Batman immediately changed direction. "Merchants Bank can wait." He fired his grapnel. The line caught. Batman swung between buildings. He released. His boots touched the side of another building. He fired again. The city passed underneath him. Another Deadshot victim. Who was it this time? The answer came through the police radio. Sergeant Michaels. Batman stopped for half a second. Sergeant Michaels. The name meant something. Not because Batman knew him personally, because Deadshot did. Batman dropped onto a nearby rooftop and looked down at the crime scene. Police had already arrived. Captain Jim Gordon stood near the body. Renee Montoya was speaking with another officer. Batman crouched behind a rooftop ledge and activated detective mode. The world changed. The body became highlighted. Evidence appeared around it. Male, late 50s, former police officer. Batman zoomed in. The bullet wound was precise. One shot, straight through the chest, Deadshot. Batman moved closer. He scanned the ground. No shell casing, no footprints, no obvious struggle. He looked at Michael's hands. No defensive wounds. Batman paused. Then he remembered something. Sergeant Michaels. He was here before. Not with Batman. With Floyd Lawton. Batman pulled up information from his computer. A personnel file appeared. Sergeant Michaels. GCPD. Batman ran read through it. Former detective, later promoted to sergeant, retired after 28 years. Then he saw it. Lawton Floyd. Initial Gotham arresting officer, Sergeant Michaels. Batman stared at the screen. There it is. He looked back at the body. The first time Deadshot came to Gotham, Michaels was the officer who put him in a cell. Batman scanned the surrounding area. Deadshot isn't killing randomly. He's removing people connected to his past. He looked toward the surrounding buildings. Why Michaels? Batman crouched. He examined the angle of the bullet. Then he looked up. High position. He scanned the rooftops. Nothing. He looked again. A faint trace appeared. Batman moved toward the edge of the crime scene. Something was on the ground. A tiny streak. He touched it with a gloved finger. He scanned it. Paint. Batman examined the color. Same pigment from the rooftop where Deadshot killed the last victim. His eyes narrowed. Got you. He followed the trail. It was barely visible. A tiny mark here. Another there. Then another. He's moving his equipment. Batman followed the trail across the street. It led toward a junction panel. Batman stopped. The panel looked completely ordinary. He scanned it. Modified. Batman opened it. Inside was a small hidden compartment. He pulled it open. Inside was equipment, a rifle case, tripod components, a scope, several rounds of specialized ammunition, additional parts. Batman stared. Deadshot's equipment. He carefully examined everything. He doesn't carry all of this with him. He has caches. Batman looked at the equipment, which means he planned to stay in Gotham. He took out his cryptographic sequencer. He connected it to his communication system. Then he transmitted a message through the police network. Not to dispatch, not to the entire department, to Gordon. The message appeared on Gordon's device. Check junction panel, equipment cache. Gordon looked at the screen, then looked around. Renee approached. What is it? Gordon showed her. Renee frowned. Batman? Gordon didn't answer. He looked toward the rooftop where Batman had been. Nothing. Batman was already gone. He had fired his grapnel and disappeared into the night. From the rooftop of a nearby building, Batman watched. Below him, Gordon and Montoya approached the junction panel. Gordon opened it. Montoya stared inside. "That's a lot of equipment." Gordon nodded. "Deadshot." Renee looked around. "Where's Batman?" Gordon looked toward the rooftops. "Already gone." Batman watched them collect the equipment. "Good. Now I know something." He looked at the rifle case. Deadshot can't get to it. He watched Gordon's officers take everything away. Whatever ammunition he was carrying is all he has left. Batman thought about the sniper. Once he runs out, Batman looked down at the city. He has two choices: run or fight. A pause, and if Floyd Lawton is as good as the files say he is, Batman narrowed his eyes. He'll fight. He turned away from the police. "Then I'll be ready." The cryptographic sequencer suddenly crackled. Batman stopped. Another transmission. Fire reported. Batman looked toward the sky. Smoke was rising from the Upper West Side. He sighed. Firefly. He fired his grapnel. The lineman swung. The Gotham Upper West Side fire station came into view. Flames were pouring out of one side of the building. Firefighters were already outside. Batman landed on the roof. He scanned the building. Gasoline, accelerant, napalm residue. He moved across the roof. Firefly isn't trying to rob the station. Batman looked at the flames. He's sending a message. He scanned for movement. Nothing. He searched the surrounding rooftops. Nothing. No Garfield lens. Batman dropped down onto a lower section of the building. He found another accelerant container. He scanned it. Recently used. Batman looked around. He was here. He searched again. No footprints, no fingerprints, no useful evidence. Batman clenched his fist. He's getting better at disappearing. He looked toward the burning building. Or I'm getting predictable. He fired a grapnel and swung away. The fire station disappeared behind him. The police scanner crackled again. Batman stopped mid-swing. Another call. All units, possible homicide. Batman changed direction. Another one. He landed on a rooftop. The police transmission continued. The victim is the Gotham City judge. Batman froze. Judge? He immediately moved. The crime scene was inside the judge's home. Police were outside. Batman waited until the officers moved away from the entrance. Then he slipped inside. The room was dark, quiet, cold. Batman activated detective mode. The body appeared. But this wasn't a shooting. This wasn't poison. This wasn't an explosion. Batman slowly walked toward the victim. The body had been restrained. The wrists, the ankles, the injuries. Batman stared. Then he looked at the object beside the body. A wooden medieval torture device. The rack. Batman studied it. Medieval torture device. Victim was restrained here. Evidence suggests prolonged torture. He looked at the judge's hands. No defensive wounds. They were restrained the entire time. Batman scanned the rack. Blood, skin, rope fibers. He looked at the victim's face. This wasn't about killing. It was about punishment. Batman stood silently. Then he remembered the previous crimes. Pie, apples, special education, packages, wildlife, Black Friday, Thanksgiving, Back Friday, St. Nicholas Day, Christmas cards. Now this. The rack. Batman looked at the calendar on the wall. December 11. His eyes narrowed. National Stretching Day. He stared at the victim. The killer isn't just celebrating holidays, they're turning them into murder methods. Batman slowly looked around the room. They're choosing holidays nobody pays attention to. They're turning ordinary days into murder scenes. He crouched beside the body. Why this judge? He searched the room, documents, court files, photographs. He scanned them, no obvious connection. He opened a drawer. More files, criminal cases, sentencing records. Batman stopped. One file contained several names. He read through them. Convictions, acquittals, appeals. He looked back at the body. Maybe the judge wasn't chosen because of who he was. Maybe he was chosen because of what he represented. Batman stood. Justice. He looked at the rack. The killer thinks justice requires punishment. His expression hardened. That's not justice. He walked toward the window. Outside, Gotham's Christmas lights glowed in the distance. They're getting closer to Christmas. Batman looked at the city, and the murders are getting worse. He activated his communicator. Alfred. Static. Then Alfred answered, "Yes, Master Bruce. I've got another holiday killer victim." A pause. "How bad?" Batman looked back at the room. "Bad." Alfred sighed. "Is there anything I can do?" Batman looked toward the evidence. "Keep monitoring the police communications." "Of course." And Alfred, "Yes?" "If you hear anything about Leslie, I'll tell you immediately." Batman closed his eyes for a moment. "Thank you." He ended the transmission. For several seconds, Batman simply stood there. Leslie. He thought about the hospital. He thought about the woman who had helped him when he was just a boy. I can't lose her. He looked at the body, and I can't let this killer keep taking people. Batman walked back toward the crime scene. He carefully photographed the evidence. He collected nothing. The police needed the evidence. He had learned that much. He left everything exactly where it was. Then he disappeared through the window. Gotham swallowed him. The next morning, Bruce Wayne stood inside Gotham Elliott Memorial Hospital. He wasn't wearing the cowl. He wasn't wearing the armor. He was simply Bruce, a man standing outside a hospital room. He looked through the glass. Leslie Tompkins was still unconscious. Machines surrounded her. Bruce slowly entered. He pulled a chair beside her bed. "Hey, Leslie." No response. Bruce looked down. "You know, you always hated hospitals." He smiled faintly. "You'd always tell me they made people feel like patients instead of people." His smile disappeared. "You're not supposed to be here." He looked at her. "You belong out there." Bruce sat back. For a moment, he wasn't Batman. He was just the boy who had lost his parents, the boy Leslie had helped, the boy Alfred had raised, the boy who had spent years trying to turn his pain into something useful. Bruce reached toward her hand. He gently held it. "I've got a lot going on right now." His voice became quieter. Black Mask, Deadshot, Firefly, the Holiday Killer. He stopped. "I don't know how many more people I'm going to lose." Bruce looked at Leslie. "But I'm not giving up." He squeezed her hand. "Not on you." Outside the hospital room, the city continued moving. Christmas was getting closer. And somewhere in Gotham, another killer was already preparing the next holiday. Bruce looked through the window. Then his eyes hardened. The pain was still there, but so was the mission. And tonight, Batman would be back.